They called her weak. They thought she was just a girl. They made a mistake. Her name was Alara. She looked like a normal human teenager, brown eyes, short black hair, and a quiet face. She was only 17, but deep inside, Alara was something else. Something Earth had hidden for years. She didn't know it yet. But soon, the galaxy would dot. It all started on Station Verex-9, a peaceful science station orbiting the gas giant Norum. The station was run by the Varnic Empire, tall, insect-like aliens with shiny green skin and sharp legs. They ruled the outer systems and didn't like humans much. To them, humans were soft, slow, and emotional. Alara was taken there as a student. She was one of 10 human kids sent to learn alien languages, technology, and diplomacy. Earth had sent them to show peace. But not everyone wanted peace. The Varnic commander of the station, General Cloroch, hated humans. He believed they were dangerous and wild. He watched Alara closely. She was quiet, too quiet. He thought she was hiding something. But the truth was, even Alara didn't know what was inside her. The other students were friendly. They studied hard, laughed in the sleeping pods, and played zero-gravity ball. But Alara always kept to herself. She had strange dreams of fire, of stars breaking apart, of her eyes glowing like twin suns. She didn't tell anyone. She thought she was sick. Then came the incident. One night, during a routine inspection, alarms screamed across the station. Something had gone wrong in the reactor room. The Varnic engineers panicked. They said it was sabotage. They blamed the humans. General Cloroch ordered all 10 human students to be taken in for questioning. The others cried and shouted, saying they did nothing wrong. Alara said nothing. She just looked at the general. Her silence made him angry. He locked all 10 in a cold, metal room. No food, no light, just silence and fear. Days passed. The other kids grew weaker. One got sick. Alara sat in the corner, her eyes closed, her hands on the floor. She felt something calling, like a voice inside her. Then the general made a cruel choice. He wanted a confession, so he picked one student to punish. And he picked Alara. 2 guards dragged her to the main hall. They tied her to a wall. The alien soldiers laughed. Some humans begged them to stop, but the general gave the order. They shocked her over and over. Her body shook. She screamed once, then fell silent. Her heart slowed, her eyes closed. They thought she was dead, but something else woke up deep inside her. The secret Earth had hidden started to unlock. She opened her eyes. They were no longer brown. They were burning gold. Her body floated off the floor. The cuffs broke apart like paper. A low hum filled the room. Lights flickered. Gravity shifted. The guards stepped back. "What is this?" One whispered. Elara looked at them. Her voice was calm. "You hurt me," she said. "Now I remember." And then everything exploded. Power surged from her skin like a storm. The walls bent inward. The Varnock screamed as machines melted. Fire danced in the air, but Alara stood untouched. She moved her hand, and the general flew across the hall, smashing into the far wall. She didn't touch him. She didn't have to. The Earth had lied. Alara was not just a girl. She was the result of a secret project, Project ESW, Earth's secret weapon, designed in case of war, hidden in plain sight. She was a hybrid, human, but with a spark of ancient energy from a force older than stars. A forgotten power, once lost in time, now reborn in her. She turned to the other students. Her voice was softer. "Come, we're leaving." They followed her in shock. The doors opened without touch. The alarms failed. No one could stop her. They reached the shuttle bay. Ships waited. One small human vessel had survived the lockdown. Alara stepped inside. She touched the control panel, lit up the engines. HUMMED. The other students climbed in. "What are you?" one of them asked. Alara looked at her hands. They were glowing faintly now. She didn't smile. "I don't know yet," she whispered. They flew away from the station. Verex-9 faded into the stars. Behind them, the station shuddered. Lights blinked. Systems failed. General Cloric lay broken, whispering one word over and over. A human weapon. News spread fast. The Varnac Empire issued a warning. Earth has sent a threat. A weapon shaped like a girl. Earth said nothing. In secret, leaders watched the footage. They had hoped Alara would never activate, but now she had. The galaxy knew, and Earth smiled, because Alara was only the beginning. The shuttle flew fast through deep space. Inside, the students were quiet. No one dared to speak. Some were still crying. Some stared at Alara like she was a ghost. But Alara just looked forward, her eyes glowing gold, her hands resting on her knees. She felt strange. There was energy inside her. It moved like fire but didn't burn. It spoke to her in pulses and whispers. It showed her images, places she had never been, languages she had never learned, weapons she had never seen, but she understood them all. One student, a boy named Theo, finally spoke. "Alara, what are you?" She looked at him slowly. Her glow was fading now. Her voice was soft but serious. "I'm human," she said, "but not just human." Another girl, Lonnie, asked, "Why didn't you tell us?" Alara shook her head. "Because I didn't know. I thought I was normal." Nobody answered. The silence was heavy. Then Theo asked the question. They were all thinking, Did Earth do this to you? Alara looked out the window. Stars passed in streaks of light. I think so, she said. Far away, back on Earth, a room deep under the surface came alive. A wall of screens lit up. One showed face, the other showed maps, star charts, and blinking red warnings. A tall man with gray hair and a military badge stepped forward. She's awake, he said. A woman next to him wearing a science uniform nodded. Her powers are stabilizing. The activation was clean, no side effects. Another man looked nervous. The Varnik will come for her. We need to bring her home now. The general crossed his arms. No, let's see what she does. Earth didn't panic. Earth had planned for this. Back in the shuttle, Alara finally spoke again. We're heading to the human colony on Leorathri. It's 2 days away. We'll be safe there. How do you know that? Theo asked. She closed her eyes. I don't, but something in me, it knows. The students believed her. They had seen her break metal without touching it. They had seen fire and lightning in her hands. If anyone could get them home, it was her, but danger was coming. The Varnik Empire was not staying silent. A warship black sharp and full of weapons left orbit from the nearest Varnik base. Its name was Claw of Fire. At the helm stood Commander Tajan, General Klorak's younger brother. His eyes burned with hate. They hurt my brother, he growled. They destroyed our station, and all because of one human girl. An officer bowed. She escaped in a stolen human shuttle. We have her path. Commander Tajan's claws scraped across the console. Good, he said. Follow, capture her alive. The ship jumped to hyperspace. Back on the shuttle, Alara was sleeping, but her dreams were not peaceful. She saw a city of glass burning. She saw a planet breaking apart. She saw herself floating in the sky, arms out, energy pouring from her body like a supernova. She woke up sweating. Her heart was racing. The others were still asleep. She walked to the front of the ship and stared at the stars. A voice whispered in her mind, "You were made for war." She shook her head. "I don't want to fight," the voice said, "but they will force you." Her hands clenched. She didn't want to be a weapon. She wanted to be normal. She wanted to go home, but maybe she didn't have a home anymore. Suddenly, alarms blared. Everyone woke up. Lonnie shouted, "What's happening?" Theo ran to the screen. His face went pale. A Varnik warship had found us. Alara stepped forward. She didn't look scared. She looked calm. "They won't stop," she said. Outside, the Claw of Fire appeared from hyperspace, massive and deadly. Its weapons charged. Inside, the students panicked. "We can't fight that," one yelled. Alara placed her hand on the shuttle controls. The screen blinked and changed. A secret panel opened with strange symbols. She read them like a native. "This shuttle is more than it looks," she said. Theo frowned. "What do you mean?" She looked at him. "It's part of Project ESW like me." She pressed a symbol. The shuttle changed. Its metal skin shifted. Extra wings extended. Cannons rose from hidden panels. The engines roared louder. Theo gasped. "It's a warship disguised as a shuttle." Alara nodded. "Earth always prepares." Outside, the Varnik ship fired a warning shot. It exploded near the shuttle. Elara didn't flinch. "I'll handle this," she said. She stepped into a strange pod in the center of the ship. It glowed when she entered. Lines of energy ran from her skin into the ship. The students watched as she became one with the vessel. Then she spoke, her voice now coming from every speaker. "Brace yourselves." The shuttle moved like a beast. It dodged a missile, flew under laser fire, and returned fire with sharp beams of light. It wasn't just flying, it was dancing. Commander Tajan stared in shock. "That's not just a shuttle," he growled. "That's a combat vessel." "Sir," his officer said, "our systems are failing. She's hacking us." Inside the pod, Alara's eyes were closed. She wasn't fighting with her hands. She was fighting with her mind. The ship moved with her thoughts. She saw every weak spot, every weapon, every system, one by one. She shut them down. The Varnik ship started shaking. Lights failed, engines glitched, their main cannon froze. Commander Tajan roared, "Fire everything!" But it was too late. Elara fired a single pulse from her ship. It hit the Varnik's core. The warship didn't explode. It just stopped, powerless, floating in space. The students cheered, but Alara was quiet. She walked out of the pod, breathing hard. "We need to keep moving," she said. "They'll send more." Theo looked at her in awe. "You just took down a Varnik warship." She nodded. "And they'll never forget it." She sat down, tired. And far away, across the stars, other eyes were watching. Alien empires, secret networks, and old enemies. They had all seen the battle. They had seen the girl, the human girl. They hurt, and they were afraid, because now she was awake. The galaxy had changed. In just a few hours, news spread like fire through the stars. A human girl destroyed a Varnik warship, alone with no army, no backup, just herself. The powerful alien empires started asking questions. Who is she? What is she, and what else is Earth hiding? The Varnik Empire was furious. They sent messages to the Galactic Council calling Alara a living weapon and demanding her capture. They called her a threat to galactic peace. But many leaders didn't agree. Some were scared. Yes, but others were curious. If Earth could create someone like Ilara, maybe Earth wasn't weak after all. Back on the shuttle, Ilara sat alone. In the back room, the lights were dim. She stared at her hands. They were no longer glowing. But she still felt the energy inside her like fire, just waiting to rise again. Theo entered quietly. He held a drink pouch in one hand. Hey, said softly. Ilara didn't look at him. You okay? He asked. She didn't answer. Theo sat beside her. You saved us. Twice now. I hurt people, she said. I didn't want to, but I had to. They attacked us first, Theo said. You didn't start this. They did. Ilara looked at him. But what if I lose control next time? Theo shook his head. You won't, because you're still Ilara. You still care. That made her pause. She looked down at her drink. Then, finally, she took a sip. I just want to go home, she whispered. Theo smiled. Then let's get there. Their shuttle moved through dark space. Almost no stars, just silence. But they weren't alone. A strange ship followed them, silent, unseen. It didn't belong to any known species. It had no lights, no signals, just shadow and steel. Inside that ship sat 3 beings. They wore black armor and had no faces, just smooth masks and glowing red eyes. One of them spoke. She has awakened. Another replied, the weapon lives. The third said, the galaxy must not fall to humans again. They weren't from the Council. They weren't from any empire. They were something older, a group that had once fought Earth centuries ago, and lost. They called themselves the Silence. They had waited in hiding, watching, planning, waiting for the day Earth made another weapon like the last one. That day had come, and now they would destroy her on the shuttle. The students finally saw their destination. Liora-3. A human colony world, covered in green forests, blue oceans and tall silver cities. It was peaceful, beautiful, safe. As the shuttle entered the atmosphere, cheers filled the cabin. For the first time in days, the students smiled. Some even laughed, but Ilara didn't. She felt it again, a pulse, a warning. Something was wrong. They landed near the city center. Security teams rushed forward, weapons ready, but lowered them once they saw the students. Medics ran in. Officials welcomed them. But one man stood back, watching Ilara with sharp eyes. His name was Director Voss. He worked for Earth's Deep Research Division. He had waited for Ilara's arrival. He approached her. Ilara, he said. You activated. She nodded slowly. I didn't mean to. I know, he said. But now, everything will change. He led her to a private room. Inside was a chair, a table, and a screen. On the screen, Earth's leaders, peer generals, scientists, and politicians. Ilara 1 said, you've shown great power. Too great. The galaxy is watching. The Council may come for you. Another said, we must decide. Do we hide you, or do we use you? Ilara looked at them, eyes hard. I'm not a tool. The screen flickered. You are Project ESW, said a voice. You were built for this. Ilara stood up. No, I was built maybe. But I decide who I am. She walked out, leaving the leaders in silence. Director Voss followed her. They're afraid. You scare them, Ilara turned. They should be afraid of the ones who made me, not me. And then, the sky exploded. Alarms screamed across Liora-3. Everyone ran outside. Ships burned in the sky. Fire rained down. The Silence had arrived. Their black ships dropped like meteors. Energy blasts hit the ground. Soldiers in dark armor marched through the streets. People screamed. Theo grabbed Ilara's arm. It's them. They followed us, she nodded. I felt them. I knew they were coming. Who are they? I don't know, she said. But they came for me. She stepped forward as explosions rocked the city. Buildings fell. Drones flew overhead. Colony soldiers fought back, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. One of the Silence dropped from a ship, landing with a heavy boom. He was tall, armored in black, with red eyes glowing behind his mask. Ilara of Earth, he said in a deep, echoing voice. You are the second. The last one nearly ended us. We will not allow it again. Ilara stepped forward. I don't know who you are, but if you hurt my people, I will stop you. You were made for war, he said. We will show you what war truly means. He raised his hand. A massive wave of energy shot toward her. Ilara raised her own hand, and the sky split. The two blasts met in the air and exploded into a shockwave that knocked over trees, shattered windows, and pushed everyone back. But Ilara didn't fall. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. Her body lifted off the ground. The energy inside her was awake again, and this time, she wasn't afraid of it. She flew straight at the attacker. They clashed mid-air. Fists of light, kicks like thunder, waves of power smashing the ground below. The students and colonists watched, in awe. It wasn't just a fight. It was a storm. Theo whispered. She's not just a weapon. Lonnie nodded. She's our protector. Below, the colony soldiers regrouped. They followed Ilara's lead. They pushed back the invaders. For the first time, the Silence began to retreat. The one fighting Ilara was strong, but not strong enough. With one final blow, she knocked him down. His armor cracked. He stared at her, breathing hard. You are stronger than the first, he said. Ilara's voice was calm. And I'm just getting started. She blasted him with golden light. His body vanished into the sky. The remaining ships of the Silence retreated, vanishing into space. The city was safe. For now, Elara floated down slowly. The people cheered. They chanted her name. But she didn't smile. She looked at the burning sky and whispered to herself, if they keep coming out, we'll keep fighting. Because now, she wasn't just Earth's secret weapon. She was Earth's shield. Elara stood in the middle of the damaged colony, breathing slow and steady. The fires were dying. The sky was quiet. The invaders were gone. But her heart was not calm. She had just fought something terrifying. Something old. Something powerful. The Black Armored being called her the Second. That meant there was someone before her, another like her, and that meant Earth had done this before. Theo ran up beside her, his face full of worry. Are you okay? Elara nodded. I think so. Lani joined them. Who were they? I don't know, Elara said, but they knew me, or they knew what I am. Director Voss approached with a team of soldiers and scientists. He looked at the sky, then back at Elara. You saved this colony, he said. Elara looked at him. You knew they would come. He didn't deny it. We had suspicions, but we didn't know they were still active. Elara frowned. Who are they? Voss sighed. We call them the Silence. Long ago, Earth created something dangerous, a weapon so strong it could stop entire armies. The Silence tried to destroy it. They failed, but Earth hid the weapon and started again. You're part of that second project. What happened to the first one? She asked. We buried it. Ilara's eyes narrowed. You mean you killed it? Voss looked away. It was unstable, uncontrolled. We couldn't take the risk. Theo stepped forward. Then why make another? Voss didn't answer. Elara crossed her arms. I'm not your tool. You're more than a tool, he said. You're a symbol, a protector. Earth needs you. Elara's voice was sharp. You don't care about protecting people. You care about winning. He said nothing. That night, Elara sat on the roof of a half-damaged building staring at the stars. The colony was rebuilding. The wounded were being treated. Everyone was safe for now, but she wasn't at peace. Theo joined her again. He didn't say anything at first, just sat beside her. Finally, she asked, what would you do if you had power like mine? He thought about it. I'd probably mess it up. She smiled a little. You wouldn't, I think, he said. I'd try to help quietly. No big speeches. No glory. Just help people. Elara nodded. That's what I want to. Suddenly, a small drone flew over them. It carried a message. She took it and pressed the button. A hologram appeared, a short figure in strange armor, face hidden by a mask. Elara of Earth, the voice said. You are stronger than we expected, but this galaxy has secrets you do not understand. Meet us on the moon of Velkin 7. Come alone or others will die. The hologram disappeared. Theo stood. It's a trap. I know, Elara said. You're not going, are you? She didn't answer right away. Then, softly, I have to. Theo stepped in front of her. They want to hurt you. Or maybe they want to talk, she said. I need to know more. About them. About me. About Earth. The next day, before dawn, Elara left. She took a small stealth ship from the colony's hangar. No one saw her go except Theo, who stood quietly in the shadows, watching her disappear into the sky. Velkin 7 was a dark, frozen moon. No sunlight, no cities, just mountains of black ice and endless cold. Elara landed near an ancient ruin, tall stone towers half buried in snow. The air was silent. No wind, no animals, just her footsteps crunching on ice. She walked into the ruins, her senses sharp, and then she saw them. 3 figures stood ahead, all in black armor with red eyes, the same as before. But this time they did not attack. The leader stepped forward. You came alone, he said. I came for answers. Elara replied. You are not the first, he said. I know the one before you was not like you. He was rage, fire. He burned everything. He almost ended the stars. Elara listened. We destroyed him. But not before he broke half our fleet. That's why we feared another. That's why we feared you. I'm not him, Elara said. Not yet, the leader replied. She frowned. You think I'll become like him? You carried the same energy, the same spark. But I have a choice. The leader's red eyes dimmed. Do you? Earth made you, programmed you, filled you with ancient power. You are not free. Elara stepped closer. I don't care what Earth made me for. I will never be your enemy. Unless you force me. He was quiet for a moment. Then, he did something unexpected. He removed his helmet. Underneath he looked human. Elara froze. You're from Earth, she said. A long time ago, he replied. Before Earth joined the galaxy. Before it forgot its past. We left. We became something else. We became the Silence. Why? She asked. Because we saw what was coming. Earth would rise. Earth would make weapons. Earth would bring war. He looked at her closely. You are proof. Elara shook her head. You think destroying me will stop that? Yes, then you're wrong. A sudden blast of light exploded from the sky. Ships. Hundreds. Not von. Knock. Not Silence. These were different. Sleek, golden, beautiful, and dangerous. A voice echoed across the moon. This is High Empress Varela of the Arcanus Empire. Elara of Earth. You are under arrest for crimes against peace. Surrender now. The Silence moved to defend her. The leader looked at Elara. We didn't call them. I believe you. she said. What now? He asked. Alara's hands began to glow. Now we fight. The Arcanist forces landed. Soldiers in gold armor poured out. Energy rifles fired. The ruins shook. Alara rose into the air, light burning from her eyes. She wasn't fighting for Earth, not for the silence, not for power. She was fighting for herself, for the choice to be something more. She slammed into the golden soldiers like a comet. Her power lit the dark sky. The silence joined the battle, not to protect themselves but to protect her. On that frozen moon, enemies became allies. The galaxy watched, stunned because in that moment, the girl they had hurt became something else. She became hope. The sky above Vulcan 7 burned gold and red. Alara flew through it like a living star. Her body was glowing, her fists charged with energy. Around her, the ruins of the ancient moon shook under the force of battle. The Arcanist Empire came in full strength, golden ships, elite soldiers, and high-tech weapons. They didn't care who the Silents were. They didn't care about Alara's story. They only saw her as a threat, that as a weapon Earth had no right to create. Alara dodged blasts of plasma, spun mid-air, and knocked a dropship out of the sky with one punch. It hit the snow with a crash. Arcanist soldiers ran in all directions. Below, the members of the Silents fought to their black armor clashed with the golden Arcanist troops. For the first time in history, two enemies stood side by side for her. The leader of the Silents, the man who had once been human, fought beside Alara. His voice echoed through their COMMs, protect her, do not let her fall. Alara didn't need protection, but she felt something strange, a bond, a connection to them. Maybe they weren't monsters after all. Maybe they were once like her, just afraid. A voice echoed across the battlefield. Alara of Earth, this is your last warning. Surrender. The voice came from the largest Arcanist ship, above-shaped, like a spear, glowing with power. It hovered like a god above the ruins. Alara flew up to face it. I won't let you hurt anyone else, she said. Her voice calm but firm. From the ship, a tall woman stepped out onto a floating platform. She wore golden armor and a crown of glowing crystals. Her eyes were hard and cold. I am High Empress Virila. You are an illegal weapon created by a primitive world. You are dangerous. You must be taken. I'm not a thing, Alara replied. I'm a person who were made in a lab, designed for war. Maybe, but I choose what I become. Empress Virela raised her hand. Then you choose death. A storm of energy burst from her palm. It was faster than anything Alara had seen, but she moved faster. She flew around it and hit the platform like thunder. The two of them clashed, in the skylight against light. Below, the others could only watch. Theo, far away on Leora 3, saw the battle through a broadcast. A reporter shouted over the footage. This is live from Vulcan 7. Earth's so-called secret weapon is fighting. The Empress of Arcanus herself. The galaxy is in shock. Theo gritted his teeth. Come on, Alara, win. Back in space, the battle grew fiercer. Empress Virela was powerful, too powerful. Every move she made sent waves of energy across the moon. Alara was strong, but not trained like the Empress. Her body hurt, her power flickered. Then the Empress struck her with a direct hit. Alara fell. She crashed into the ruins below. Snow exploded around her. She gasped, coughing blood on her lips. The Silence leader ran to her. You're not finished, he said. Get up. I can't, she said. Double quotes. Yes, you can. He knelt beside her. You are not just Earth's weapon. You are its heart. Alara's fingers dug into the ice. She saw faces: Theo's kind smile, Lonnie's worried eyes, the other students who believed in her. She heard their voices, felt their hopes. That she stood. Her body shook. Her skin glowed again, but this time it was different, warmer, brighter. Her eyes weren't just golden now. They were pure light. She flew upward, faster than sound. The Empress turned in shock. Didn't speak. She simply unleashed everything. A wave of power burst from her hands and hit the Empress like a tidal wave. The golden platform cracked. The sky turned white. The Empress screamed as her shield shattered. She fell. Alara caught her before she hit the ground. You're wrong, Alara said quietly. I wasn't made for war. I was made to protect. She placed the Empress down and turned to the rest of the Arcanist forces. Leave, or I won't hold back next time. They looked at her. They saw not a weapon but something greater, a being with power. Yes, but with heart. Slowly, one by one, they lowered their weapons. The Silence leader stepped forward. You changed their minds. You did what our war couldn't. Alara looked at him. What happens now? He sighed. The galaxy will still fear you. Some will still try to control you, but others, they will follow you. I don't want followers, she said. I want peace. He nodded. Then maybe you'll get it. Later, Alara stood alone, watching the stars again. The moon was quiet. The battle was over, but the galaxy was still watching. Earth sent a message. Transmission from Earth Command. Alara, we request your return. You've done well. The project is complete. She stared at the message. Then she deleted it. Another message came, this time from Theo. I hope you're okay. You were amazing. Everyone here talks about you like a hero, but I know you're still just you. Come home soon. Alara smiled softly. She didn't reply. Not yet, because she still had questions. Still had roads to walk. Still had herself to discover. But one thing was clear. She was no longer just a project, no longer just a weapon. She was Ilara, and the stars would never forget her name. Ilara drifted quietly through space in a small stealth ship. The stars outside blinked like soft lights in the dark. She had no destination, no orders, no one telling her what to do. For the first time in her life, Ilara was truly alone. But she wasn't afraid. She needed time to think, to breathe, to understand who she was without Earth's control, without the silence's fear, and without the galaxy pointing fingers at her. Her ship floated near an asteroid belt. She turned off the engines and sat in silence, watching the rocks spin slowly. Memories came back. Her friend Theo's voice, the blast that nearly ended her, the Empress falling through the sky, and the words that kept echoing in her mind. You are Earth's heart. What did that even mean? She closed her eyes and let the silence of space fill her. But peace never lasted. Long a sudden warning flashed across the control screen. Incoming signal unknown. Originella sat up. The ship had been cloaked. No one should have found her. She opened the message. Ilara, if you're reading this, then Earth has already turned against you, or they will soon. You need to know the truth. Meet me on Outpost X12. Come alone. No name, no face, just coordinates. Ilara stared at the screen. Another trap. Another group trying to control her. But something about the message felt real. She sighed and powered the ship. The engines hummed gently. Fine, she said. One more mystery. Outpost X12 was an old human research station, floating on the edge of known space, abandoned for years. No guards, no power, just darkness. Ilara landed softly. The air was thin but breathable. She stepped out, her feet touching the dust-covered. The floor of a forgotten hallway. Lights flickered as she walked through the station. Broken screens, empty labs, graffiti from pirates. Everything smelled like metal and old secrets. Then she heard it, a soft voice. She turned fast, her hands glowing. A man stood ahead, human, old, with tired eyes and a gentle face. He wore a faded lab coat with Earth's emblem barely visible. Who are you? Ilara asked. My name is Dr. Halric, he said. I helped create you. Ilara's heart sank. Her glow brightened. You're one of them. He raised his hands. I left the project years ago. I didn't agree with what they planned. That's why I sent the message. She didn't lower her hands. Start talking. Dr. Halric nodded. You were part of Project ES, but the truth is, there were many versions before you. You weren't the first or the second. Ilara's eyes narrowed. How many? 17, he said quietly. Her hands dropped. What happened to them? They failed, he said. Not because of power, but because of control. Earth wanted a weapon it could aim. But each one developed feelings, emotions, memories that made them unpredictable. Like you. So what did they do? She asked, her voice shaking. They erased them, shut them down, or sent them into deep space to be forgotten. Ilara stepped back. Her heart was pounding. So I'm just another experiment. No, Halric said. You're different. You survived. You chose to save others. You broke the cycle. Ilara looked away. They wanted me to be a weapon, but you became something else, he said. That's why Earth is afraid of you now. She looked at him. Then why tell me this? Why? Now he opened a storage pod behind him. Inside was a glowing cube. This is the core memory of Subject Zero. The first real one. The strongest. The one even the silence feared. Ilara stared at the cube. I thought you said they erased them. Halric nodded. They tried, but I saved this. I wanted someone to know. Someone who could carry on not as a weapon, but as something better. Ilara slowly reached out and touched the cube. Her mind filled with images. A boy, maybe 18, eyes full of light. Hands that shaped energy. A scream, a world falling. A tear and silence. She pulled away, breathing fast. He was sad. She whispered he didn't want to fight. Halric nodded, but no one listened to him, just like no one listens to you. Ilara clenched her fists. I'll make them listen, Halric smiled. That's why you're still alive. As she left the station, Ilara felt heavier but clearer. Earth had lied, the galaxy had feared, but now she knew more. She wasn't the first, but she could be the last, the one who changed everything. She sent a message to Earth. Stop following me. Stop hunting me. If you want peace, I'll talk. But if you treat me like a threat, I'll show you what a real threat looks like. She didn't wait for a reply. Far away, in a dark meeting room under Earth's surface, the message played on a giant screen. The generals were silent. She knows, one said. She's unstable, said another. Then we activate the protocol. The lead general growled. Which one? Protocol Omega. Back in space, Ilara flew toward a peaceful planet to rest. But suddenly, her ship systems froze. Error. External override detected. What? She shouted. The screen blinked. A new voice spoke. Ilara, this is Earth Command. You are now classified as Omega-level risk. Your powers are no longer authorized. You will be contained. She slammed the control panel. No. The ship shut. Down engines off, shields offline, weapons disabled. Then she saw them. 5 ships appeared behind her. All black, all Earth-made. Each one was carrying something worse than bombs. They were carrying hunters. Super soldiers, designed to fight beings like her. One of the ships hailed her. Alara of Earth, stand down, this is your final warning. She sat still, for a moment, breathing hard, then her glow returned. No, she said, this time I'm not running. She closed her eyes and she remembered the boy, the one who lost everything. I won't become him, she whispered, but I will finish what he started. She opened her hands, and space lit up again. Space burned gold and white. Alara hovered between 5 black Earth ships, each one armed with Omega-class hunters, each one ordered to bring her down. Her small ship floated behind her, powerless. Earth had shut it down remotely. They were trying to trap her, to take her back like a broken tool. But Alara was done being controlled. She was not just a weapon. She was not an experiment. She was not property. She was Alara, and she was awake. The lead Earth ship opened communications. A cold voice spoke. Alara, you are surrounded. Do not resist. Stand down and you will not be harmed. She floated silently, eyes glowing, hair waving with energy that crackled around her like a storm. Don't lie to me, she said. Your powers are dangerous. Your existence threatens peace. No, she replied. Your fear threatens peace. She opened her hands and the stars answered. A golden pulse of energy spread from her chest. It reached the Earth ships like a ripple through water, disabling weapons, jamming signals, and cutting off control systems. The crews inside shouted in confusion. Lights blinked out. Screens went black. The hunters were deployed. 5 in total, all designed to match Alara's strength. Fast, brutal, emotionless, each one stronger than any human soldier. Their armor shimmered like night. Their eyes glowed red. Alara didn't run. They charged. She met them head-on. Fists clashed in space. Sparks flew. One grabbed her arm. She spun and kicked him into an asteroid. Another shot energy blades from his wrists. She caught them mid-air and turned them into light. The third tackled her, but she pushed him back with a burst of power that bent gravity. But they were strong. They adapted. They worked together. For the first time since she awakened, Alara struggled. One hunter cut her shoulder. Another hit her hard in the stomach. She gasped, falling for a second. But then she remembered the boy. Subject 0. The one Earth erased. The look in his eyes before the end, sad, alone, forgotten. She wouldn't become that. She couldn't. She screamed, not in pain, but in power. Her entire body burst into golden fire. The hunters froze. Sensors overloading. Then she moved. She took down the first with a single punch, straight through his shield. The second she caught mid-attack, drained his power source and sent him drifting. The third and fourth tried to retreat. She reached them in a flash and ended their systems with a touch. Only one remained. He hovered in front of her, damaged, sparking, unsure. You were made like me, she said, but you don't have to end like me. The hunter didn't respond. He looked at her. For a moment, something flickered in his red eyes. Then he powered down. Alara floated there, heart pounding, the space around her glowing bright with her energy. The Earth ships did not fire. They could only watch. She sent them one final message. I'm not coming back. Not as your weapon, not as your experiment. If you come for me again, I will defend myself. But if you want peace, true peace, then stop hunting your own creation. She turned away and flew into deep space. Weeks passed. The galaxy was quiet. No more attacks, no more secret fleets, no more capture orders. The empires watched carefully. Earth stayed silent. Some whispered about her in fear, some in awe, others in hope. They called her many names. The Golden Star, the Last Flame, the girl who defied Earth. But to the ones who knew her best, she was still just Elara. She visited Liara 3 again in secret. Theo was waiting. He ran to her the moment he saw her ship land. You're alive, he shouted. She smiled. Barely. He hugged her tightly. You saved everyone again. You know that, right? She looked around. The colony was peaceful. Kids laughed in the streets. Families walked under the stars. The sky was clear, maybe, she said. But I'm tired of fighting. Then don't fight anymore, Theo said. Just live. She sat on the grass beside him, watching the stars. They might still come for me, she said. Then we'll stand with you, he said. Not because of what you are, but because of who you are. She looked at him. And who am I? Theo grinned. You're Alara, our friend, our protector, our heart. Her eyes filled with soft light. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel alone, somewhere far beyond the edge of the known galaxy. Deep in a dark system no map showed, something stirred. Inside a forgotten vault, hidden for centuries, lights flickered. A voice, cold and sharp, echoed inside. Subject 0, awakening sequence detected. A container opened slowly, and deep within, something ancient blinked its eyes. The first weapon, the one Earth buried. He was still alive, and he had been watching. Alara, he whispered. So, they made another. His eyes glowed, but this time, not with rage, with something else, with purpose.